Whenever you're setting up an account in Google, it's very important you have your ducks in a row before you even start setting up your account. As of 2022, Google is asking for advertiser verification. It's very simple. You have to prove that you're an actual person, that you actually exist, and that's information that's going to be available for people that want to check your ads and see the information as an advertiser. Google's doing this to avoid having fake accounts and things of that nature. So if you are really going to take Google seriously, it's not necessary, it's maybe an extra step, but my advice, especially if you don't want your information out there, my advice would be to build up some type of business entity, have a real account with that business entity before doing anything. And it's very easy to set up, especially in the United States. Once you have that information, or if you don't need that information, just to say you are opening an account, the ideal thing, first things first, is open up an MCC. With an MCC is just Google MCC accounts. It's very simple, straightforward. It will show up in one of the first results. Once you start opening up that type of account, it would allow you to manage other people's accounts. It also allows you to create other accounts underneath that same branch in the MCC. When you open up that MCC, make sure you're not using a virtual credit card. Make sure that you are, at least for the first time, you're not in a location that you usually are not located at. So let's just say, for example, if you're usually in Texas, don't say, hey, I want to open up an MCC and do it from Singapore from a computer that you never used. These are things that sometimes set off some flags. There's nothing illegal, nothing incorrect about it, but once you set off some type of a flag, you let's just say you get your account auto banned or auto suspended right away, it's very difficult to get it back, especially in this climate with ad support. So that's the first thing. Set up your MCC. One, set it up from a place, an area, computer that you're going to use on a consistent basis and stay away from using virtual credit cards. Virtual credit cards, there's nothing wrong with it. There's not a problem, but sometimes a lot of people get auto suspended for suspicious activity with their banking information. And then you don't have banking statements to send, and it's very difficult for you to win that type of case. So you want to avoid that. You want to use one of your regular accounts, one of your regular credit cards that don't have any issues, and you set up that payment profile. That's the first thing. Next, an often overlooked thing is people do not want to take the time to look over Google ad policies. Google ad policies are always changing. Certain points in certain platforms are a little bit less strict, especially with YouTube ads. Having said that, they're still enforcing new things, especially in the face of privacy. So really look at what can be promoted. There are products that were able to be promoted a few months ago that nowadays cannot be promoted, or you need a certain license for. Just because you need a certain license for something, it doesn't mean it's impossible. Just look at what those parameters are in Google's eyes. Google may have parameters that are different than what that actual profession needs. So it may be something that a slight hurdle, which is a good thing, a hurdle that can be overcome. So if you have a certain product that has to be advertised, read the fine print, understand what you need to get, and go ahead. And if you get that certification within reach, then fine, you have an advantage over your advertisers. But there are things, especially when it comes to financial products, crypto products, anything that is in the gray area or is considered, dangerous or not safe for kids. Let's just say, as of this recording, anything involved with drugs, alcohol, there's fine print for that. Weapons, things of that nature. You really want to read the fine print and understand. There are certain things that can be promoted, but there are things that are specific no-nos. Go down that list and understand that list. The next thing is you really want to have a fleshed out site. When I say a full site, it doesn't mean your site has to have 1,000 pages or things of that nature, but whatever domain you're going to promote information to, you want to make sure that it's structured in a way where people can get information about you. So what happens is, a lot of times Google's gonna review your site and they're gonna look at the about us. They're gonna be, oh, can we contact this person? Is this person a real business? That's when people fall into the whole issue of thin landing pages or thin content or even a suspended website. The important thing is to have a privacy policy, terms and conditions, having about us. Can these people get in touch with you? If you have an email or phone number, even better. Remember, it could be in the name of your registered business, but those things are important. One other thing to look at is, and this has happened to me because I had an account auto banned, is really looking at your domain and look at domain history. So you want to use something like archive.org, that whatever new domain, especially if you're buying a new domain, you want to look at what was that domain used for. If that domain at a certain point was used for something that Google considered against their terms and policies and was suspended, they're gonna look at it as, oh, this person's trying to get back into Google Ads, so let's auto suspend this person. So that's why you wanna look at the past and see, okay, was this domain used before for either some type of, I don't know, link farm, black hat SEO, or some type of thing that broke Google Ads policies in the past. Once you verify that, that's when you make sure you fill out your site, which has some content. You don't need lots of content. It could be an article or two, but the important thing is, once again, I said earlier, have a contact us, have an about us, have your privacy policy, especially on the pages where you're gonna be sending the ad traffic to. That's paramount. And once you go over those things, you should be good to go as far as launching Google Ads account and avoiding suspensions. Now, me personally, whenever you're gonna do an MCC, even if it's your own product that you're gonna launch, I like to keep as little domains as possible per account. The reason behind that is that if for whatever reason that domain, let's just say you have 10 domains in the same account, right? And you finally have a business and everything is working. For whatever reason, you forgot to renew that one of the older domains, and now you start getting address approvals. If Google decides, if someone else takes that domain, first of all, and they start doing something considered against their terms of services, Google is going to ding your account. And if your account is dinged and you can't do anything about that URL, your account suspended, there's nothing you can do, you lost that account. So the way I protect myself is I'll keep as little domains as possible, ideally one domain per account. And let's just say for whatever reason that doesn't work out down the road and they suspend that account, that's fine. You can have suspended accounts under your MCC. You don't want to make a habit of it, but at least you have some type of protection when you're doing things that way. And overall, those are the best ways of avoiding account suspensions or minimizing the risk of getting an account suspension. So 1, be a real person, use a real business. 2, use a real card. 3, open up an MCC. 4, keep your account structure in a way where you're having as little domains as possible going to that account, ideally one domain per account. And the next thing is make sure you do some research on your account, on the domain that you have, to make sure that it hasn't had any problems in the past. Now, one final thing is, people always ask, once your account is suspended, should I open up another account with the same domain? No. You open up another account with the same domain, now you're doing what's called circumventing systems. Google does not like that. You want to do all the other steps I said earlier to avoid and minimize the chance of getting your account suspended. But once it's suspended, you want to do everything in your power to enable that account and get it in good standing. The technology gets more and more sophisticated every day. I don't know how they know sometimes. I've had situations where people have decided to just change the domain and use the same site content and still got suspended. I've seen people where they've changed the domain, they've changed the content a bit, and they still got that account suspended. So one way or another, they may have linked it. And you don't want to be falling in a circle of having to get a new computer, new IP, new address, new person, just to open up a Google Ads account down the road. So just follow these steps, and I'm pretty sure 9 out of 10 times you will be fine. Please read the terms of services and just follow this rule. If you have to think about it and guess, hey, do you think this is allowed? It's probably not, right? So just read the rules and make sure that you're following the terms of service, and you should be fine. Just a little note, search is definitely more picky when it comes to things that are allowed and not allowed. So YouTube ads, you can be a little bit more aggressive in what you're marketing, so keep that into account. Having said that, just be very careful and read your terms of service. As long as you have things of backing up, especially if you're talking about health, you want to have citations on your landing page. You also want to mention things like results are not typical, especially when it comes to making money online, when it comes to losing weight drastically. You want to have those type of disclaimers on your landing page. And when you mention those topics, sometimes you need to have them on your videos. And that's how you can minimize your chance of getting your account suspended. If you want to learn more tips and tricks about YouTube ads, feel free to check out our other videos. It's totally free on the channel. If for whatever reason you feel like you need something in depth you want to join our weekly calls and you want to find out more about our course, feel free to click on the link and book a call.